I used to think I wasn't good enough to get out my own head. But when I learned how to get out my own head, I became a better person. But as I became a better person, I stopped second guessing everything that I wanted to do. But as I stopped second guessing what I wanted to do, I started to believe and get out my own head. But see, oftentimes we have to be in our own head in order to feel like what this pushback is. But this pushback is us pushing back against ourselves. But oftentimes, how do you stop pushing back from you when you haven't even practiced how to believe in your capabilities? I had to get out my own head because I just wasn't experienced with the time, with the journey, with the process. But I had to really understand that the process want to teach me how to get out my own head. But see, oftentimes as we're in our own head, we second guess everything that we want to do because we don't think we're good enough for it. But how are you good enough for your success, for your growth, if you don't even believe in it? But see, being in our own heads is us pushing against us without even saying, I can do this as much as the next person. But we don't think and or see what we can become because we are so in our head. But being in our head is stopping us from growing into a better version of ourselves. What's going on, everybody? My name is Terrell with the Wild. Welcome to another episode of Failure is Knowledge. So here at Failure is Knowledge, we speak about real life examples on how you can become a better version of yourself. But as you're becoming a better version of yourself, you have to be willing to try to grow in order to become what you think you can. Excuse me. Before we dive in on the topic on how to get out of your head, please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like, and wait until the end and leave a comment to let me know how you're going to get out of your head and start believing in yourself. When I was growing up, see, my mama was a funny woman. My mama now she try to scare us, but she can't scare us. You know what I mean? I always have respect for my mama, but when we were so young, she put that fear in us so we can respect her. But I didn't know what was going on because I'm just thinking, we don't know what's better. We don't know what's best for us, but our mama knew. See, Velivet, I'm telling you, Velivet did a phenomenal job raising us. I remember this one time she was teaching us how to drive. And when I tell you it was the most scariest, most fearful thing I've ever done, it was so scared. I was so scared to get behind this wheel. I was so scared because I didn't even think I could be a good driver. And so I believe I got my license when I was like 15. I got my permit when I was 15. We got our permits when we was 15. And so our mama was teaching us how to drive, but when she was teaching us how to drive, for some reason, her patience went out the window. Her patience, she didn't have no patience when it came to us driving, but she had patience for everything else. How does that even make sense? Like, how do you have patience for everything else but for us not driving? See, that's why I say she's a funny woman, because she really like instilled that fear, like put that fear inside of us to where we was really scared of her. We was really afraid of our mama to even make her upset. Well, at least I was. I can speak for myself. I can't speak for my two brothers. I was afraid. But I was so afraid because that's what she taught us. That's what she taught us. So as I'm growing up and learning how to drive, I'm so afraid to even do my best because I don't want to mess up. I don't want to mess up. I don't want to offend. Not offend. I don't want to make my mom upset because I can't drive. But of course, as you're learning how to do things, you have to learn how to be bad at it. And so when we begin to learn how to drive, we were driving on the freeways, and she was teaching us. It's the most frightful thing there is. How do you get on the freeway and then merge onto traffic when traffic is just going? Like, they're not gonna wait on you. I'm thinking they're gonna wait on me. No, they didn't wait on me, because I remember this one time when I was about to get on the freeway, I didn't get on the freeway because they didn't let me merge. They didn't let me merge like they supposed to let me do it. Like, what? No, absolutely not. So as I'm driving, I'm already in my head. But as I'm in my head, I'm not thinking I'm able to get over in the lane. But my mama, she got the yelling, son, get over, son, get over, son, get over. Yelling. Get the yelling at me for no, well, okay. There is a reason, but I didn't think it was a reason at the time, because I can't multitask. I'm supposed to turn. I'm supposed to focus on the wheel. I'm supposed to focus on what's around me. I can't do all that. So then I began to get in my head. But as I began to get in my head, it caused me to get yelled at even more. But see, as I was getting yelled at even more, I was messing up more. But see, that's what's happening. When you get in your head, what do you think is going to happen? I didn't think I would be affected by that if I didn't try to drive. If my mama didn't force us to drive. As we was learning, we had to do things that made us uncomfortable. We had to do things to build our confidence up, to say, this is why you're doing this at this time, and it's okay. And it's okay. But I didn't recognize how much of a thought is. I didn't understand how much of I didn't understand how powerful a thought is, because a thought can really change your whole entire day. But it taught me that it was okay to merge over to the lane. But as I'm merging over into traffic and onto the freeway, it became more comfortable. It became more relaxed. I started to believe in myself a little bit. I started to get out of my own head. But even then, as I'm driving and learning and being comfortable with the steering wheel, with the pedal, with the gas brake, with the brake, I'm being comfortable with it. I'm building my experience up. I'm building my confidence up. But I didn't know that all the yelling that my mama was doing was preparing me to be uncomfortable when uncomfortable situations got presented. But see, oftentimes we need somebody yelling at us and telling us the truth, because the truth hurts so bad. But how do you handle the truth if the truth was never told to you? I had to get out of my head, because she was yelling at me because she wanted the best for me. But I didn't understand her yelling was to teach me a lesson. But how do you gain the lesson out of something when your feelings is hurt so drastically? I had to get out my own head. Why is she yelling? She was yelling because I wasn't merging over to traffic. I was taking all day just staring on the ramp. And you can only stay on the ramp for so long until you really have to merge over, right? So you have to choose and make a decision when you want to jump and be uncomfortable for yourself. See, merging on the lane is you get uncomfortable with the process. You saying it is okay. But as it's okay, you become uncomfortable with it. You gain a little experience, but as you gaining the experience, you're not in your head as much. And so as I began to understand that, and granted, she was making us drive a lot because she wanted us to gain that experience, that confidence, and a belief within ourselves. Because once we get in the car and start driving, we have to drive for other people. Because other people not as experienced, because they didn't have that one person nagging at them, yelling at them, and making them uncomfortable. But see, being uncomfortable is where you really start to understand it's gonna be okay. But it's only okay. It's only okay if you continue to drive. If you continue to put yourselves in uncomfortable positions, uncomfortable situations. I mean, there was one time I was driving. We was about to go to church. And so I'm driving. And so when I was driving, I'm thinking I'm doing good. My mama tell me go this way, that way, this way, that way. I'm listening. But it's hard for me to listen because she's giving me so many instructions all at once. And so I believe I made the wrong turn. When I made the wrong turn, she flinched. Like, I'm driving, she's behind me, and she flinched. When she flinched, I ducked. You feel like I ducked underneath the steering wheel. Like, why would you even do that? Why would you even hit me when I'm driving? That makes no sense. I think she hit me though. I really think she hit me. I really think she hit me. I'm not gonna even lie. I can't even remember. But I can't remember what I did. I probably deserved, probably didn't deserve it. I don't know. I just know it hurt. Or maybe it did hurt. I just can't remember if I got slapped, if she flinched. I can't remember that part. And so I pulled over. And I think I got in a passenger seat or something. I got out the driver's seat. I got out the driver's seat. That day I didn't identify the lesson. Today I understand why she did what she did. Okay, wait. To my understanding, okay, I understand why she wanted to do that way. I don't understand why, but my lesson from this, right? I was able to control myself by driving and having the experience on how to control and work the wheel and be confident in what I'm doing. But see, what's possible is looking crazy. What's impossible is not taking that risk. But see, that's that. Oftentimes we have to be willing to look crazy, to look insane in order to become better. We have to be unexperienced in order to gain experience within ourselves. But how do you gain the experience within yourself if you never put yourself in uncomfortable positions? But see, that's what I'm saying. Like that comfort level is so impactful. It's so impactful, and it's so important to even understand why you need to put yourself. It's so important why you should get out your head. If you are so much in your head, you're pushing yourself back to even try to look embarrassed, to even try to look like you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. You don't have to always know what you're doing. My mama flinched/hit me. I can't remember which one, but she did that because I didn't know what I was doing. But it taught me real quick. It taught me real quick because of my previous experience. My prior experience taught me how to handle unknown situations that come up. But how do you handle something? You never put yourself out there to grasp the lesson, to understand what this lesson presents. I remember this one time, hello. I mean, this one time. Hey, before I even tell this next story, make sure you subscribe and hit that like button and leave a comment down below on how you're going to get out your head. I remember this one time. It was crazy. So this one time, the car that we had. So my mama had a Yukon, and we had a Pontiac. Me and my two brothers, we had a Pontiac, and so the Pontiac was on the street, but my mama truck was in the driveway. So I looked out my window and I peeped and I saw it. I'm like, cool, I'm about to go put the car in the driveway. So I go get the keys, I started up, I turned. So the car was facing this, like it was facing it wasn't facing the street or where I can correction. It was facing the street where I can pull up and then bag in, right? So I get in the car. So I'm like, all right, cool, you start that mug up. I go for it and I turn. But as I'm turning, like I turn a lot. And so I put that mug in reverse because my mom was teaching us how to bag in a lot. Like that's the only thing she really taught us how to do, how to bag in. She was teaching us how to bag in a lot. That's not the only thing, but she was teaching us how to bag in a lot. So I'm like, all right, cool. I think I got the confidence. I think I got the belief. I think I got the experience for me to get out of my head. And so I get in the car and I turn it all around, put that mug in reverse, and I go right. I hit the curve, so I pull back up, turn my wheel this way, bag up again, kept turning, hit the curve again. I said, all right, cool. Pull up again. This last time, I really messed it up. Pull up again, put that mug in reverse, but as I'm bagging up, I'm steady going. But as I'm steady going, I'm steady turning. But as I'm steady turning, I finally hit something. But when I hit something, I didn't even know I hit it until I got out. And so when I got out, I hit a pole. And I broke the taillight. I hit the pole and broke the taillight. So now I'm thinking quit. I'm thinking quit on my feet. I'm thinking quit. So since I couldn't put the car back in the driveway, since I couldn't put the car back in the driveway, I put it back where I got it from. So, and it was, now this was genius. This was genius of what I did. I didn't even get in trouble for this because I played it so well. So I had turned it out. And then I had bagged up, and I bagged up in a straight line. Just straight enough, right? So then I parked it. Mind you, the pole on this side is still leaning, and the tailgate over here is already broken. What I did was go pick up the glass so there's no evidence on what just took place. So I go pick up the glass. I go pick up the glass and I throw away the glass, right? So mind you, I'm being light on my feet and I'm thinking about what to say and how to present it to my mama so I don't get in trouble. So before I go in the house, I'm going over what I want to say and how I'm presenting it, right? So in this moment, I'm in my head, but I'm in my head to become very strategic with the planning, to have a plan on what to say and how to say it as I'm presenting to my mama. And so as I'm thinking about it, okay, I'm like, okay. How can I make this make sense? How can I make this make sense? If she look at the pole and look at the car, she can put two and two together, right? Okay. If she look at the car and look at the pole, still two to two together. Okay. Idea came, but the idea came so swiftly because I was in my head thinking about it. See, there's a time and a place to be in your head as you're thinking about your experience, is to think about the outcome, right? So here's the thing. I was in my head to plan the next move. But see, here's what the next move was. So the car was on the street, but as it was on the street, the side that I hit on was facing that way. So it looks like, it appears that a car hit it. A car hit it and drove off, right? So I'm telling you, I'm coming up with this story right like on the spot. So I'm like, okay, boom, the car's right here. A car hit it and drove off. Okay. You know what? Instead of me throwing away the glass in the trash can, let me get the glass and put it in the area, like right underneath. Let me put it in the area. So I was becoming creative. So I dove back in the trash can, got all the glasses, got all the tail light glass. And I put it like right underneath it. Like this is the car, like right underneath it. So that way it can look like somebody hit it. It can look like somebody hit the car and drove off. So got the plan together, and now I go to my mom. I go tell my mom. I'm like, Mama, okay, as I'm telling her, I gotta make it dramatic, make it seem like I didn't just do this. Okay, I did it, but I didn't want to get in trouble for it because it was a car and it was our car and we was gonna have to pay for it to get it fixed. Okay, so I had to be dramatic with it. I had to be in my head to see how can I present this so well to where she believes it. Okay, boom. Okay, so I go in. I'm like, Mama. She was like, what, boy? You have to be on key with your story. You have to be on key with your story. I'm like, Mama. She's like, what, boy? I said, somebody just hit us. She said, what you mean? I said, the car in the street, somebody just hit and drove off. She got up. She went to go look. She saw the glass right underneath the car. Remember the glass I told you about? She saw the glass right underneath the car. So it's like, I can't believe this. I can't believe it just hit my car and just drove off. I can't believe it. So now her anger is not at me. Her anger at somebody that hit the car. See, that's what I'm saying. Oftentimes we have to know when to be in our head. What's in our head is thinking of worst case scenarios. But this time, as I was in my head and thinking and planning on what to say and how to present it, I was really protecting myself. I can't even say the word. I was protecting myself. But I was protecting myself because I understood how to put two and two together. But see, oftentimes when we in our head, we stop thinking. We stop thinking and we stop understanding that everything is a process. You can't have one thing, you can't have one experience without another experience because both experiences are going to tie to a new one. But see, we don't understand it because we're so in our head. We're so stuck in our head. We don't believe that anything is possible. We don't believe that there's a lesson behind this pain. But this pain is to help you realize that everything that you've been through is to help you with your next experience, with your next phase of life as you're taking your first step within yourself. But we can't take the first step if it's so in our head. What if I take this step and I'm not good? What if I take this first action and I'm not that great? What if I actually take this first step and I'm horrible at doing it? You're not gonna be the best or great or even better when you first start out. But you can't be so stuck in your head that you never learn how to become better, how to become great, how to become the better than yesterday. See, that's what the journey and the pathway teach you. You have to be willing to go through through your phase in order not to be stuck in your head. But oftentimes being stuck in our head is saying, can I do this? Can I not do this? Can I do this? Can I not do this? But when we go, we can't do this because I'm not good enough. We can't do this because I don't have the experience. We can't do this because I'm not that good. What if I actually start and I actually mess up? Me driving. What if I start and I'm not that great? Me hitting a pole. See, there's a lesson behind everything, but you have to start in order to get better. And once you get better, now you are more patient within yourself, because now you believe you can become when you become after you take your first step. But see, oftentimes you taking your first step to get out your head is to learn how to work with fear, how to work with the unknown, how to work with things that doesn't go as planned. One thing in the military that everybody always said was to embrace the suck, meaning embrace the hard times, because the hard times is not going to stop presenting themselves. But what's even more special is that you can come back out of when times get hard, when adversity hits. But when adversity hits, it's not the end of the world. You just lack the experience in the area that you didn't understand. I didn't know me driving was going to lead to so much confidence. But since I have confidence behind the wheel, can I have confidence behind myself? That's the key. That's when I understood that in order for me to grow and become better, I have to get out of my head. I have to get out of my head and stop saying I can't do what I don't know. Just because I don't know doesn't mean I shouldn't do. Just because I don't know doesn't mean I shouldn't do. Babe, I got you can stay on it. I'm almost done.
Okay.
You gonna stay on it?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm gonna leave this part in there.
Okay, that's fine. Sorry to interrupt.
Just because you can't doesn't mean you shouldn't do. But oftentimes as you're doing, you're learning more about yourself. But when you get out of your head, now you understand why the process is so important. But you can't learn how to identify the process if the process never starts. That's why you have to get out your head. But when you out of your head, now you start to work with your experiences, and your experiences and tie into other things that you can work with. But see, that's why it's so important to understand your experience is being built after you take the first step and get out of your head.
Ooh.
I gotta cheat. Oh, I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna put that. Oh my goodness, man. So get out your head and believe that you can, but because when you believe that you can, this is when you start to identify something that's not in front of you. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a comment on how you're going to get out your head and become the best version of yourself. If you want to watch more videos on how to discover yourself and about self-growth, click this video right here, and I'll see you there.